On July 13th, in Pennsylvania, former president and presidential nominee Donald Trump was warning his supporters about the dangers of illegal immigrants when a white, born and bred American citizen began firing at the crowd. Shortly after this event, a video was posted on Reddit showing a bystander in the stands doubling over immediately as the first shot rang out of the crowd. The following day, this video had been removed from Reddit, and in its place was article after article and video after video of Trump being shot, or the crowd calling for assistance. But the original video of James Copenhaver and David Dutch was suspiciously difficult to find. The fact that this video was intentionally suppressed has led me to create this animation, which lays out exactly what happened at the Pennsylvania rally on July 13th, 2024. It is also the reason why this video has taken so long to produce, because I was unable to find this particular video anywhere for days after the shooting, and I was beginning to think I had imagined it. Fortunately, I was able to not only find the original video, but this supplementary video that shows the same scene from a wider angle. In this video, you can clearly hear the first shot and the resulting impact in the stands on the right-hand side. James Copenhaver was shot in the ribs and liver, and judging by the video evidence, he was shot by the first bullet fired. We can track the trajectory of the bullet judging by the secondary impact, which causes an eruption of dust particles and smoke milliseconds after the first shot is fired, and before the second shot. The person standing near the location of the second impact was David Dutch, who sustained injuries and can be seen being escorted away from the stands after the incident. While it is clear that the first bullet fired hit both James Copenhaver and the stands to the right, it is unclear whether the bullet ricocheted in the direction of Dutch or if it hit the second location after traveling in a straight line from Copenhaver. If the official story is to be believed, we can assume that the bullet ricocheted in that direction. But if we assume that the bullet traveled in a straight line, then we can extrapolate the trajectory of the bullet and follow it back to its point of origin, in this case, somewhere in the vicinity of the water tower. So what actually happened on that day? Why was the video suppressed? Police in America murder overwhelmingly more innocent people per capita than any other demographic. Globally, American soldiers and their allies murder more innocent people than any demographic in history. So, without looking at any of the evidence, we can safely assume that the police or the Secret Service were responsible for the killing of this innocent civilian, just purely based on probability and statistics. Whenever an innocent person is killed anywhere, we can safely assume that the murderer is an American soldier or police officer, just purely based on probability and statistics. In other words, if I was to make a bet on who murdered a random innocent person, I would be more likely to win that bet if I picked an American soldier as the murderer. Former TV show host Donald Trump was allegedly shot in the right ear, but as of today, the 25th of July, 2024, there is zero evidence of this occurring. Due to the fact that this was a highly publicized event, and that every single person in the crowd owns a digital camera, and that at least 100 people were sat on the side that was visible to Trump's ear, we can assume that under normal circumstances, there would exist a video of Trump being shot in the ear. But as of today, no such video has come to my attention. With all of those people sitting on his right in full view of Trump's ear, we would assume, under normal circumstances, that there would be at least one video that showed the shooting in a completely unambiguous way. No such video exists, and the only video evidence we have seems to show Trump touching his ear before blood is visible, opening up the possibility that Trump applied something to his ear. The fact that no video of the event exists lends credence to the idea that it didn't happen. The only thing we can say for sure is that 3 people were shot and red liquid appeared on Trump's ear. An extremely obvious statement is that unlikely events occur much less frequently than likely events. A young man bypassing security with a fully automatic weapon and shooting a politician in the ear is a massively unlikely event. It is an unlikely event compounded by another unlikely event, making the entire situation extremely unlikely to occur. To most reasonable people, the unlikely nature of the event would cause them to doubt that it ever occurred. This is what we mean when we say that something is unbelievable. It's so unlikely to occur that it most likely did not occur at all. Unfortunately, a lot of Trump supporters are religious, and religious people tend to think that an unlikely event means that God was involved. God stopped the bullet from hitting Trump in the head, although God obviously cannot do multiple things at once. So on this particular occasion, God decided to save Trump and leave Cory Comparator to die in a bloody heap on top of his family. God is a busy guy, and we can't expect him to save everyone every time. When we are faced with 2 possibilities, a common method for deciding which option is correct is Occam's razor, which states that the explanation that requires the fewest assumptions is the correct one. Here are our 2 possibilities. A young man, barely out of his teens, bypassed the Secret Service with an automatic weapon, fired 8 shots at a crowd, one of which struck Trump in the ear without damaging it, and without anyone catching it on video. With this explanation, we must assume that nobody on Trump's right-hand side had a camera or wanted to film their most beloved politician while he was giving a speech. Perhaps it was a no-phone section. The other option is that a career politician shot his own supporters for PR reasons. The simplest explanation is that Trump shot his own supporters and then applied red liquid to his ear. So what reasons could there be for Trump to shoot his own supporters? The most obvious answer is to attain the level of support he garnered after the event, that the sympathy he gained from allegedly being shot will allow him to win the next election, and that is why he staged the shooting. The issue with this explanation is that it assumes the election process is legitimate, which it isn't. Biden or Trump, it doesn't matter. They are both exactly the same, and your vote to either of these puppets means nothing. They are both Zionists. They are both only interested in taking your money and making you their slaves. They are both your worst enemy, and your vote means absolutely nothing. So what reason could there be for Trump to publicly execute his followers? Violence. Violence is the end and the means. They want all of us to be at each other's throats. This is why Trump is telling us to fight.
Fight, fight.
That is all they want. They want more street takeovers, more police shootings, more school shootings. The more terror and public unrest, the more resources they will be able to extract from you and the more powerful they will become. The idea that there are two sides that are opposed is a massive lie. The only two sides are us against them, the average person against the politicians and the wealthy that own us. Chomsky states that the world is a much more dangerous place today than it was when he was young. Truly, I did not expect to wake up each day to witness a genocide justified by a Stone Age religion, or a street takeover where crowds of people are run over for no reason. There are very few intelligent people in the world. There are even fewer good people. The world is comprised mainly of stupid or evil people. The stupid people being voters, soldiers, the police, and the religious, and the evil being politicians, lawyers, and judges. Both of these kinds, the stupid and the evil, are only able to make the world a worse place. There are very few people who actually care about the truth. There are even fewer people who are able to ascertain the truth. The game of chess is a game that is primarily concerned with truth. The truth hurts, and if you lose a game of chess, it is not something you can dispute. You can see by looking at the board that you have lost, and the truth hurts. The best chess player who ever lived was Bobby Fischer, and he quit the game after becoming world champion as a young man, and took up a life of activism against the US and Israel. Bobby Fischer was pro-Palestinian to the day he died. He was well aware of the brutality of the Israeli settlers and spoke openly about it, which is why he was subsequently called crazy. Most people are bad at chess because they don't understand what truth is. They don't know what truth is, and they have no idea how to find it. Most people draw cause and effect relationships between things that happen in quick succession, regardless of how unrelated those things are. They see planes flying into towers, and then they assume that the subsequent collapse has something to do with those planes. People hear a gunshot and see some red liquid, and they assume that the red liquid must have been caused by the gunshot, even though there is literally zero evidence to support it. There should be mounds of evidence, but there is zero, not a single video. Evidence means nothing to the average person. They don't know what evidence means. This is why they are able to think that God saved Trump while killing Cory Comparator. The fact that God allowed Cory to die means nothing to them. In fact, you could take everything away from them, destroy their lives, make them work for you as slaves, and they would still believe that God was good, because that is what faith does, and that is exactly what has been done to them. They are completely convinced of their fairy tale because they have invested everything in it, and they are so emotional because they have so many problems in their lives that are worth crying about. They are just unable to identify the cause of their problems, so they blame whoever the politicians tell them to blame. So what is the point of this video? I just want people to hear what I think. I like it when people comment on my videos and when I get views. Maybe I'm trying to make friends, who knows? I don't really have any ulterior motive in making this video other than that I feel like I have a duty to express what I believe to be the truth. You can go do whatever you want, that's the definition of freedom.